All right, today we're tackling a big one, hackers. We're going to get past that Hollywood stereotype and really dig into what's going on in their world. So when I say the word hacker, what pops into your head? For most of us, right, it's that classic image, some shadowy figure in a hoodie, keyboard clacking away in a dark room with green code just scrolling down the screen. Like you've seen in movies, from war games all the way to hackers. And that image is powerful for sure, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. The reality? It's way more complicated. And honestly, it affects every single one of us. We're talking about a huge spectrum here. I mean, all kinds of different motivations, skill levels, and even, ethical codes. It touches everything from our personal info to the security of entire countries. So to really get a handle on it, we need a way to sort out who's who in this world. And how do we do that? Well, funny enough, the security world kind of borrowed a brilliant, simple idea from old Westerns: the color of a person's hat. It's a system that helps us categorize these hackers based on what they want and, whether or not what they're doing is actually legal. Okay, so first, let's talk about the bad guys, the black hats. These are your straight-up cybercriminals. They're in it for themselves, for money, for revenge, or sometimes just to watch the world burn. They're breaking into systems, stealing your data, launching ransomware attacks, you name it. Totally illegal. Then you've got the heroes of the story, the white hats. These are the good guys. They're often called ethical hackers. And get this, companies actually pay them to hack into their systems. Why? Because their job is to find the weak spots before the criminals do. They're absolutely essential for cybersecurity today, and everything they do is above board. And then you have the gray hats. This is where things get interesting. They live in that blurry area between black and white. A gray hat might hack into a system without permission, which is illegal, right? But they don't do it to cause harm. They might just want to point out a flaw. Like the famous case where a researcher hacked Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook page just to prove there was a bug that nobody was listening to him about. See, it's complicated. So this really sums it up. You've got your illegal black hats, your totally legal white hats, and then the questionable gray hats in the middle. But what's really fascinating is that these labels aren't always permanent. People can change hats. I mean, look at Kevin Mitnick. In his youth, he was the FBI's most wanted cybercriminal, a textbook black hat. But after he did his time, he completely flipped the script. He became a top-tier security consultant, a white hat, getting paid to protect the same kind of companies he used to hack. And believe it or not, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. The colors don't stop there, which just shows you how specialized this all is. You've got red hats who are kind of like digital vigilantes going after the black hats. You have green hats, the newbies, eager to learn the ropes, and blue hats, who are often security pros testing systems before they're released. Oh, and then there's purple, which isn't really a type of person, but more of an idea, a really important one we'll get back to in a bit. Okay, so we've got the what, the different types of hackers. But what about the why? I mean, what's really pushing someone to do this stuff? Well, as you can probably guess, the reasons are all over the map. Sure, you've got people hacking for bragging rights or to get back at someone. That definitely happens. But let's be real. The number one motivator? It's money. Cold, hard cash. The cybercrime economy today is a full-blown professional industry. It's massive. Right behind money, though, is ideology, politics and beliefs. This powers everything from government-level spying to online protests. And sometimes it's just about the challenge, the pure thrill of cracking a code that's not supposed to be cracked. And that whole ideology thing splits into two really different camps. On one side, you have nation-state hackers. These are spies, basically. Highly skilled operatives working for governments trying to gain a political or military edge. And on the other side, you have hacktivists. Think groups like Anonymous. They're not working for a government. They're using their hacking skills to make a political statement, to protest, to leak information for a cause they believe in. Then, way down at the bottom of the food chain, you've got what's called a script kiddie. Yeah, it's not a compliment. This is someone with basically zero real skill who just downloads and runs pre-made hacking tools that other, smarter people wrote. They're usually just out to cause a little chaos or show off to their friends. And because they have no idea what they're actually doing, they're super sloppy. They leave digital fingerprints everywhere, and yep, they're the ones who get caught. All right, let's shift gears and look at how all this plays out in the real world, in the corporate and government space. Because make no mistake, it is a constant digital battlefield between the attackers and the defenders. Inside big organizations, this whole conflict is organized into teams. You have the red team. That's your offense. They're the company's in-house white hat hackers, and their job is to act like the bad guys, to simulate attacks and find all the holes in the system. And defending against them, that's the blue team. They're the defense, the ones on the digital front lines 24/7, watching the monitors, looking for threats, and fighting back when an attack actually happens. And this quote right here, it nails it. Blue and red teams are nouns, while purple team is a verb. What does that mean? It means the best companies don't just have an offense and a defense that fight each other. They have a purple team mindset. It's an action, a process. It's about the red team and blue team working together, sharing what they learn to make the whole organization's security way, way stronger. Okay, so what? We've talked about all these different hats and teams. Why should you care? Because every single one of us is plugged into this digital world. We're all in this together, and the stakes, well, they couldn't be higher. Just look at that number for a second. Let it sink in. $10.5 trillion. That's what cybercrime is expected to cost the world every single year by 2025. To give you some perspective, if cybercrime were a country, its economy would be the third biggest on the planet, right behind the US and China. This isn't just some tech problem anymore. It's a global economic tsunami. So what's the takeaway here? It's that we all have to be part of the solution. You don't need to be a security genius. Honestly, the simple stuff makes a huge difference. Using a password manager to create strong, unique passwords for everything, turning on two-factor authentication wherever you can, learning to spot those sketchy phishing emails. These basic moves are your armor in the digital world. So, when you peel it all back, learning about hackers is really about learning about the world we live in now. And it leaves us all with a pretty big question to answer for ourselves. Because on this new digital battlefield, you can't just stand on the sidelines. That's just not an option anymore. So you have to decide, are you going to be a target or are you going to be a defender?